about Yarden Bibas, and we don't know the fate of his family, as we've talked about, but Keith Siegel coming home to his wife Aviva, who survived captivity, has been extremely vocal and honest, being someone testifying about the horrors of October 7th to make sure that it doesn't repeat, that never again means never again. Ofer Calderon, as we know, his son and daughter return in the first stage of the hostage deal. Unfortunately, the fate was horrific and tragic for Carmel Gat, who was killed in captivity. As we all remember this pain, we are hearing from her family a lot, who have remained active. And right now I'm joined by SHAI Dickmann, who is Carmel's cousin. Hello, and thank you for being here and waiting in the sun. I know the families are one big family, so how does it feel to at least witness all of these hostages coming home?
Wow, Emily, I can't even describe the feeling. You know, I was waiting with Shir.
Turn around so
Sure.
we can see you better.
Shir, the daughter of Keith, is my age. She was waiting. She was waiting to be married to her loved, you know, the one she chose, and she was waiting only for her father Keith to come back, because her mother Aviva did come back, and the first thing that she said is, "I'm so glad I'm going to be at your wedding." And now her father is going to be there with her, and I can't describe you the feeling about Ofer. Ofer, two of his kids, Sar and Erez, they came back and they saw him in captivity. The last thing that Ofer said to Sahar was, "Keep fighting for me so that I won't die in the tunnels."
And Sahar has spoken a lot, saying that she's still there. I mean, this young teenage girl, hold on, I want to tell the technical people I'm hearing a lot of noise. But yes, we've heard from Sahar. What a brave young woman, a teenager.
It's unbelievable, and we cannot, you know, help thinking no child should go through this. And today, we finally got Keith back, we got Ofer back, and Yarden. Yarden, we were worried about him a lot. And we still don't know about the fate of his wife, Shiri, and his two redhead kids. Kfir was only 9 months old when he was kidnapped. And right now, Yarden is finally be able to be hugged by his family. They are going through the same thing, and they are going to go through it together, but he's not going to be able to rehabilitate until we know the fate of Shiri, Kfir, and Ariel, so everybody should come back.
What is keeping everybody gripping and desperate, grabbing onto whatever they can. Let's talk about your cousin Carmel. This was a long fight. Unfortunately, she paid the ultimate price. How is it the family and all of the hostage families what's helping keep you secure, given her tragic fate that could have been avoided?
So you're right, it could have been avoided if this deal, which was on the table on May and on July, would have happened back then Carmel would have been interviewed here instead of me, and we would have got these hugs. But this is what makes us understand that this time the deal must go on. We cannot leave anybody behind. Carmel's name was on the list on the 8th day of the list of November, and it lasted 7 days. So this time we cannot break the list, we cannot break the deal. This time we must make sure that we go to the last hostage. Everybody should be here. There are 79 people left there, and you saw me putting those stickers of "I'm back." And there are still people who are waiting for this sticker to be put on them, who are waiting to hug their families. And Matan is waiting to hug his mother and sister. And we saw him on a video from captivity, and we know that he's alive. They must all come back, the people that are alive and the deceased, so we can all close those circles and be able to rehabilitate, and we can
heal as a nation and a people. Also, Carmel, we know we're seeing, you know, the young ladies that return, how they had each other to keep each other through. We heard this with Romy Gonen and Emily Damari. We know that your cousin was trying to keep spirits up, doing yoga, being a yogi. We know where that comes is surrendering even in the worst of circumstances. Does that give you also any comfort to know that, you know, she wasn't alone and was able to give from her heart even in the worst of scenarios?
So it gives me inspiration. It doesn't give me comfort. What gives me comfort is that people are coming back, whomever is alive, coming back alive. And it gives me inspiration because Carmel, over there in the tunnels, she was able to give others power. She was together with 2 children, 13 and 17 years old. They didn't know who survived from their families. They were the only ones in this world for one another. And she was able, in starvation and in the darkness of the tunnels and in fear of her life and her autonomy, she had no freedom, but she did manage to find the inner power to give others power. And she was holding a diary with them, and they were counting the days until their release, and she was helping them imagine those moments when the 3 of them will be released. And she somehow did yoga with them, which is, I don't know, I think it was her way to make them gain control over their minds, because no one can take your mind from you. And I know that I cannot sign a deal and I cannot make sure that we go until the last day, but I can choose who I am in those moments. And I call for the release of all of the hostages, so that I try to be like Carmel, be there for whomever needs me at those moments. And I'll be with these families and hug them and fight for them, with them, until the last hostage is back home.
You guys are all such superheroes and rock stars. How strong all of you are, and how vocal you've been and continuing to not give up, especially after receiving the news of your cousin. How much does this family, this big, large family in the Israeli public and people around the world, how much has that given you strength to continue?
Exactly. The strength comes from the people that were with us all along this time. I know how important it was for me that people were hugging me, that people were calling for the release of my cousin at the time. And so I know that this is what I want to be for the others. And I know it's possible because I was hugged so much in Israel and all around the world. All around the world, people were with us and were saying, of course I want my family member. But no, you were standing with me and you were saying, she deserves to come back. She had done nothing wrong to anybody. She deserves to live. And this is what Matan deserves as well. He deserves to live. He deserves to be back with his family. And so does everybody that is still there. And let's share these moments like today, when Ofer and Kit and Yarden are back home with all of the families, having those moments again and again until the last hostage is back home. Amen.
Shai, you are absolute. How old are you?
29.
29. 29-year-old, a superstar. Thank you so much. And your brother too, Gil. So strong. Thanks again. And we'll continue to check in with you on this historic day throughout the afternoon.